Good morning, everybody. Shalom, shalom. As you see the title, Astra-Tech Projection, Dimensional Mechanisms of Time Travel. Do not be afraid of the titles you see. The titles you see do have a lot to do with the scriptures and what we're going to reveal, but we are in a different time. We're not in a time where what you're used to. When someone sends a link to you through the internet, what are they sending you? Never thought to go that deep? When nothing appears as it is. Shalom, blessings, my brother Keegan. When one sends you a link, shalom, Charlotte, I'm reading down the bottom, sending a part of their consciousness. See, right before the fall, the falling ones binded or linked together and made a swirl, like an illusional veil we call Milky Way space. So all souls are linked into their system we call solar system. I need y'all to tell me if everything is going clear throughout the whole message. If it's not, just let me know. I'm by myself. I call the beast that what is technology. In order to understand technology, we must define time travel. What is time travel? Sure, you know, for those that say, I don't know, and fully understand time travel and its portals. Get ready for a window and a door opening of Yahshua's kingdom. Shalom, Renee. Shalom, Corey Banks. Man, if you could, I hope you could come up. But if not, I understand. I know everybody busy. Before I get to these videos, though, let me show my face here. Let's get these videos. Hey, wait a minute. What's going on here? Wait a minute. Boom. There we go. All right. Let's turn to Revelations chapter 9. All right. Now, what is Astra-Tech projection? We know what astral projection is, but what is Astra-Tech projection? Yeah, I kind of figured that, big bro. I kind of figured that. But it's all right. We'll do a part 2. Now, I got 2 videos, all right, that we're going to play. And they're about like 10 minutes apart from each other. So that's already 20 minutes. Already 20 minutes is gone. But, I have to show confirmation. Now, y'all help me, Renee, Keegan, and definitely Charlotte. Remember last year, like during the time of the feast, where Yeshua had us, he was making the messages come out. Remember, we talked about AI technology inserting a needle in your head, and it was coming from Revelations chapter 13 about the beast. And do y'all remember? Well, at the time, I didn't say artificial intelligence. I was saying robots and cyborgs, I think. And so the time has come. So we show you that time into part of the future. Okay. Now, tech is short for technology, just to help y'all out. Astra technology projection. All right. Now, we also said that a lot of people who thought they was being beamed up, Scotty, it was the government taking over the soul. We just did a teaching like maybe a month, a little less than that ago, about how they take me. Sister Janice was up there with how you go to sleep and frequencies of sound waves, right, come forth from somewhere and make an electrical magnetic force field. Y'all remember that? All right, those are real words. I'm not trying to sound smart. Like that's the real deal. Just a simple way that I can make it for you. Remember, we said what you don't see. They say what you don't see don't hurt you. Bullshit. Okay. All that is the 5G. All right. Pushed by a man of Wizard of Oz trying to look like God or a spirit. All right. Or extraterrestrial. All right. You got that. Then you got the real dumb dollars. Like they killers. They shoot one laser down here. The whole universe is done. All right. Sodom and Gomorrah is one of them. All right. Atlantis is another one. All right. Yep. And the man was shooting that and that stuff blew up. All right. So Revelation chapter 9, verse number 6. Now, know about transhumanism, how they're putting consciousness, human sleeve, into an internet artificial intelligence made out of silicone that feels like skin. Y'all remember that? The human sleeve? We showed that too. All right. You can have a body and to be immortal. And in the same sentence said, well, but if something go wrong with the body, we'll give you another human sleeve, but you got to take another dicto consciousness picture and go through the steps again. That's not immortality. Fiber optic monitoring for the offshore energy and aerospace industries. We're getting somewhere now, Sister Renee. God, some big words you out there shooting, man. You better be glad I know what fiber optic means. And in those days, people will seek death. Now, optics is the same thing that your Verizon cable or Wi-Fi or any other, Fios. All right. Now, just so you get a general idea of what she's saying, but we are in the spirit. We're telling you Uranus, Saturn, the moon, the sun is on a Wi-Fi Bluetooth signal. Boop, boop, boop. And they all coincide with each other because those are the binded forces. And keep that in the back of your mind. All right. That was Sister Renee for. So it says, and in those days, people will seek death and will not find it because your consciousness is in the internet of power that's never going to go out until God judge it, right? Right. And they will yearn to die. Ooh, but death will flee from thee. Ooh, Nubis don't want to talk to you. The locusts resemble horses equipped for battle. Now, in 1 Chronicles chapter 20, verse number 6 through 8, when the giant statue of the 6-finger people, right, and the 6-toe people, which is 24 put together, 6, 6, 6, 6. 6-toe people, the number 666, the 6,000th generation for Satan to reign. That's too much sixes for me, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's the frequency. We're going to bounce back into the spirit. So it say on their heads on something like golden crowns. Their faces resemble the faces of people. So this is some ugly alien. I don't want to, without putting some worldly cuss words to it, I can't say no more. So some ugly, because they resemble the face of people. It ain't people. I never seen a locust face looking person. I know we say you look like a grasshopper, an African muskrat, possum face looking dude. I know we got jokes like that, but really, do they got fur walking around? No, they're not. So it says they had hair like the hair of a woman. Now, in your dreams, you see man and woman, you always see them. Yeah. Their teeth are like teeth of lion's teeth. But it gets better. This is how we know it's AI. Because I showed you that they was making their stuff out here and say, if you want wings, we give you wings. You fly off like you Superman or something. You know what I'm saying? So look at 9. Their breastplates are scales. Now, Becky Smith confirmed me. I know she remembered. I don't know about everybody else. But I had showed the news live on TV, Channel 9 News, the Bay News. If you know where you know where we at, then you know what that Bay 9 News or Channel 13 is. So, boop. And it showed that there was some type of technology and it was scales. But see, it looked like scales. If I showed you, which I'm about to do right now, if I showed you graphene and the bonded elements, wouldn't it look like scales? Just so you get a mind picture of what I'm saying. Y'all see that? That look like scales. That's exactly what was on that technology, and it was just like this black stretchable stuff. And this man didn't have, it showed it. This man didn't have no arm, some type of vet from here where his elbow connect to the arm was gone, hand and all. Man, that woman put that thing on that thing. It did some metamorph transforming thing. Went black, then it was an arm. He was like, I think it was like some type of Spanish guy. Now all of a sudden he got an arm. I was like, what the what? Man, boy, I'm glad I caught that on the live. Y'all would have never believed me if I would have just got up and said, yeah, on the news was such and such, because you couldn't Google it, you couldn't YouTube it, you just had to catch it on the news. Sometimes they put stuff out there that's not on social media. That's what you need to pay attention to. You know, that's the hot garbage people be talking about things we already know. So it says that that's the scales, all right, resembling breastplates of iron. That stuff is an element. It's a metal. All right, right. And I want to prove, you know, I'm not talking science. I just want to show you what the scriptures was really saying. How is a dude who riding on horses and carriages and got a tool called a hammer with a stone in the wood going to tell me anything about artificial intelligence, rockets, F-14 jets shooting out missiles? How he going to explain that to me? And he don't even know it himself, when the doggone celestial beings or the terrestrial beings you call angels or devils was appearing to people in physical avatar bodies. If you notice that every time, even in mythology, there was always a ship. Now, I'm kind of smart. I'm like, wait a minute. If demons been disembodied, God said, I ain't going to embody them until the end, when I get ready to do the slaughterhouse to the wicked. So I know that much. So I say, well, I'm not in that time yet, because I ain't got raptured up and we ain't sitting on judgment seats. So these things riding in ships are projections. Uh-oh. What is a projection? It's something that is shot by light. And because we have virtual reality, right, and holographical images, we understand that light could look just like this, and you can take it right out of thin air and touch it, uncap it, color with it, and everything. Think I'm lying? What is that show? Alter Ego. Booyah! There it is. They show it to you right in front of your face. The person, whatever they wanted to be, whatever they wanted to look like, whatever color, shooting out hearts and stuff. Ooh, all of this is light. But how is light able to walk to you? Come on, talk to me, y'all. We've been in Wizard of Damn Oz. How is light able to walk to you, talk to you, sing melodies to you? And then you read the doggone scripture, God is light. No matter if you put on the mask and be darkness, darkness still has light. It's a projected image. So what is demons and devils? Come on. Your own mirror consciousness of energy in front of the anointing of God, which is the mind operation. We are in the subconsciousness of God, rising to the consciousness of what you call wanting to get to heaven. Let me explain through scripture. All right, this is hard. All right, now, so they have tails, verse number 10. All right, well, let me read 9 again. Their breastplates are scales resembling breastplates made of iron, whirring noise made by their wings. What did he just say that we can do? If you want to be a storm on X-Men, we'll give you wings. Okay, so you can sustain that, so you won't be looking for something to come up out the damn sky. It's already here. So it say noise made by their wings like roaring. There was a city in China in the doggone air. Everybody was woo, woo, woo. Y'all was Luther Vandross. Woo, 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 woo. All around the doggone internet. And we looking at holographical, not Project Bluebeam. That's man. Okay? No, man. We're looking at the falling away, leading to the great destruction of those who don't stay in the truth. Hey, Second Thessalonians chapter 2. Okay? All right? I'm trying not to be deep. I want to be simple, where everybody sit back and think about what time we are in right now. Now, they hide spaceships for how many years? Now they just here one, here one, here one, here one. Now I ain't talking about normal people. I'm talking about the FDA, the social media people who run this stuff. That bit. How they hide something? All right. Is it because you can't hide no more? I think that's it, because they would keep hiding if it was not so. So now they throw out fake imagery now. Okay, the Navy pilot or whatever. If we're looking at something that is going 80,000 miles per hour and the freaking jet can only do Mach 4, I mean, that's a big difference. All right. Now, if I'm in a car and we racing and I do 50 miles an hour and you do 75 miles per hour, that's 25 miles per hour difference. So no matter if we go 100 miles distance, all right, by the time the 75-mile-an-hour person get there, he'll be always 25 miles ahead of me. You understand what we're saying? So how is it something going God knows speed, and then we sitting up there zooming in on the camera? Really? Come on, man. Your tech ain't that good. So, you know, I'm not falling for the hype. But what I will do is decipher through the Holy Spirit, if it's important enough, that he tell me to speak these things, and whoever gets it, they get it. And wherever the video go, that's where it go. If it don't go to 100 million people, it wasn't for 100 million people. If it only reached one soul, then it was only for one soul. But guess what? It didn't come back void. When something don't come back void, angels are worshiping the Most High, praising, making sure your book name stays in the remembrance. So over them is the king of the abyss, the angel called the sun. Oh, I'm sorry, the nuclear reactor. I'm sorry. Abaddon is what your scriptures say in Hebrew, which is Apollyon in Greek, which is Abaddon is destruction, and Apollyon means destroyer. So what's going to destroy the earth? What is CERN up to, right? So let's get right into it, right? We got to play these videos. Now, you see that needle got to go. You said they had tails and they're going to sting men. What is that? You see people getting injections. Let's read Revelation chapter 13, verse number 15. And he permitted also to impart the breath of life into the beast, so that the statue could actually talk. That's AI. Put up a computer chip. And then it says, so that the statue, or artificial intelligence, I'm gonna stop saying statue. Ain't now time did man ever try to make a statue walk. Right? Right. So artificial intelligence of the beast could actually talk and cause to put to death those who not bow down and worship the image of the beast. Why? Because if you don't have the nanoparticles inside of you, he can't read you. One more time. If you don't have the substance that they are injecting inside of you, the freaking system cannot read your mind. Let's keep moving. So let's say verse 16. And he, the artificial intelligence, are alike, both small and great, both rich and poor, no matter who you are. So stop trying to prepare physically. Both free and slave, to be a mark and an inscription in their right hands and on their forehead. Think I'm a lie? Let's pull up the video, okay? Now, when I be hearing the gods of the Most High, El Elyon, the gods is what you call the seven menorahs, which is the seven archangels, which really, angels is nothing but extensions of God's thoughts. So telepathically, God talks to you. See, that's why I just exclude Michael and all of them. I only call their name when I need a deed to be done, if I'm in the point of praying for someone. Other than that, we just strictly talk eternal ether of the Most High. So let me get this video up here. Now, I'm about to give my boy Woodward out here. Woodward TV.
So, in order to understand this, we need to start with the brain. Now, in your brain, there are neurons, billions of neurons. There are several types of neurons. The job of the neuron is to send and receive information. And you can take a neuron and break it down into three parts: the dendrite, the cell body, and the axon. The dendrite receives the signal. The cell body processes the signal, and the axon transmits the signal. And this process happens almost instantaneously. You also have what are called synapses that connect the dendrites and axons of other neurons to each other, so that you have this network of neurons. In order for this network to work, in order for these neurons to send and receive signals, you need electrical current. So the synapses release what are called neurotransmitters, which are molecules that cause current to flow across the membrane of the neuron. The neurons are excited by electricity, reacting to input called action potential. And this is what is detected when you place electrodes on the head. So now you can record the action potential of the neurons in the brain and take that recording and decode the information. Now, the idea is, because we use electrodes that are placed on the outside of the brain, outside of the skull, the amount of information you get is dampened by the electrodes being placed on the head. If you want more detailed information, the electrodes have to be placed inside the brain. With this technology, you can now create neural stimulation that is more advanced. You can fine-tune the stimulation to create certain sensations, movements, and even correct movement disabilities. Now, here's what Neuralink has to say about their approach. We're designing the first neural implant that will let you control a computer or mobile device anywhere you go. Micron scale threads are inserted into areas of the brain that control movement. Each thread contains many electrodes and connects them to an implant, the link. The link, sealed implanted device that processes, stimulates, and transmits neural signals. Neural threads. Each small and flexible thread contains many electrodes for detecting neural signals. The charger. Compact inductive charger wirelessly connects to the implant to charge the battery from the outside. Precision automated neural surgery. The threads on the link are so fine and flexible that they can't be inserted by the human hand. Instead, we are building a robotic system that the neurosurgeon can use to reliably and efficiently insert these threads exactly where they need to be. The Neuralink app. The Neuralink app would allow you to control your iOS device, keyboard, mouse directly with the activity of your brain, just by thinking about it.
Stop. How did God talk to us? That's why you never heard the voice of God. He telepathically talks to you. You call messengers. And the nerves that send signal to your brain are called messengers. Still you sending those signals to the brain to move the artificial intelligence you call physical body. Follow? All right. So if naturally we are supernatural intelligence, then what is this computer box that they have put us in called the Matrix? Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Mars, Jupiter, network, possessment of the mind. Right. That's all what you thought was religion, right? Yes. Yes. So if evil copies God, right, then the extraterrestrials are showing us how to walk in the power of the spirit if you reverse the engineering of what they show you. Not only is it in the scriptures, before there was literature and before man could hear God, he telepathically saw his story in the stars. Egypt, know who the Messiah is. Sumeria, know who the Messiah is, who is formerly as Mesopotamia. Okay, Job was a righteous man who was from the land of Ur, which is in their book, their gods. Checkmate. That's before Moses' law. And it said that he knew the laws of God and was the only righteous man on the face of the earth. That's before Abraham. Checkmate. You got to know your story, Israelites, from where you become from. Now, you see, we've been talking this, and people, this is deep. How is it deep when you've been talking telepathically to God? You just thought you heard his voice because it's a pre-recording. That's what telepathic is. Sound recorded and then exchanged into another source or body. Don't we do electrical power like that? It's wires, which are the nerves, extensions that send the signal or the power from the power box to the house, right? Transferred energy, correct. Now, the house, unlike the power box can take all the power and won't blow up. Now, the house is on a fuse. This is your physical body. Your physical body can't take the true power of God. That's why your salvation is held back until you disembody. Flesh and blood will never inherit the kingdom of God. It was said that from the beginning because it's a counterfeit. It was not made by the Most High. Worship me in spirit and in truth. Where in that did he said flesh of flesh, bone of my bone? Checkmate. So now we are out of religious ways and we have been unlocked by the key of the kingdom of heaven from the prison of the Pharisees of leavening the spirit. Listen, leavening the spirit. Yeshua said it in the gospel. Don't go the ways of the Pharisee. They have leavened bread. What are you talking about, Yeshua? Oh, they not right. They didn't got it. So the leavening of the spirit is what religion is. All right, now let's pull up this other video here. Now close your eyes. Matter of fact, let me help you. Close your eyes and visualize what you're going to hear. Okay? Now, that's one guy. I got my other guy, Leak Project. So we are talking about telepathical neuronic control of mind control ultra. First, they started with substances, LSD. You know, back in the day, they used to say driving while intoxicated. And they found out, stopped saying that because they said, man, can't no physical thing make a man do something. It ain't nothing but an element. You take drugs all the time. So they turned it from driving while intoxicated, and people who smoke weed or do drugs, you can't say that either. So they said driving under the influence. The influence of what? Well, what's the drugs ain't the influence. Because if that was so, every pill popper from every doctor would start talking to the devil, period. So we have a dilemma here. So most people can't take this truth. This kind of truth hurts because it slices. Now, if they studied in the LSD, okay, you know what? Let me show you. If they studied us as subjects, right, and use all these drugs and then found out that, you know what, it's really not the substance. It's the substance is the gateway. You know, you ever heard of the gateway drug? Okay, so the substance, liquor, drugs, whatever, that's the gate, okay, to your physical body being put into a trance to receive a certain type of energy. Okay, but if you do not do no drugs, how is it that you can be under the influence of demons if what I just said to you is a whole bold-faced lie? Matter of fact, come show you my face. Now, you understand what was just said. I gave two different scenarios that lead to the same ugliness. Now, if you do drugs or whatever, okay? And then a person who is sober, how is this person using substance? This person is not using substance, but the same power spirit that put him under the influence who is taking the substance is the same power demon that is putting the person who is taking not the substance. Easy if you've been following us. Crack cocaine, weed, or THC, all those are elements. They're already in your body. It's called DMT. I'm not going to try to say that big word, but y'all know what DMT is. Google it. That's that little thing when you having sex and you get that, ooh, feel good. I ain't talking about when you climax. I'm talking about right there in your brain. You feel your mind's eye. Boom. Oh. Or at the point of where you think you're going to die. Bing. When you pull that kind of energy, time stands still. I've been there. I've been in a car accident. And I remember seeing without moving my head, just my eyeballs, I could see every piece of glass look like diamonds. The people who were going forward were going faster than me. But I was in, I don't know what kind of paradigm. I was on the Lord's time. That's what I called it. But now I know what it is. My mind's eye was peaked full of light, like the Holy Spirit said. And I was calling upon his name, and I went through the doggone window. The car flipped over 7 times forward. And then the 7th time, it put me in and hugged me back into the seat. And boom, the car fell, the Ford Explorer 2-door, you know, them flipping ones. I wasn't driving. The dummy didn't know how to drive, driving down a narrow street, 75 on a 30. We crashed. But if they didn't have it on video, I would not have believed that I shot out. What looked like to me, I was always in the truck and we were just tumbling and I was just seeing all of this. And I had pushed the lady that was with us back and I ended up getting a shoulder because I had nothing to brace myself on. I didn't want her to go through the window, so I pushed her. But it didn't appear to me that I had ever left the vehicle. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And then at a nanosecond, life came back at the regular time. That's why I'm telling you what looked like to me. I was always in the truck and whoosh, it was over. And I jumped out. I was like, oh my God, I'm alive. But I knew that heaven's angels was with me. And until I read about the pineal gland lighting up, and when you have the Spirit of Christ, all things, he will send angels. As long as you don't put your foot and dash your foot against the stone. So I've been through some things where I know what I'm talking about. Nobody can take that experience from me. That's why you hear the vibration of it coming as power, truth, and not unbelievable. So moving right along, let's get this thing where something is trying to take over us, right? Hear it for yourself. I'm not lying. But we talked about it before these times.
Yeah, in a sense, I've heard that too. But again, I mean, it's almost literally like they're running programs on us. Like, let's say if they abduct a person, you don't have 5 different explanations, according to them, as to why they abducted them. I think that's one of the most conclusive, I guess the only fact really that we have in this phenomenon is that you can have 5 different aliens and have 17 different reasons why they abducted you. And I'm not talking about like just small reasons and small inconsistencies. But I mean, it's all over the gamut. I mean, you know, they abduct us for energy. They abduct us because, you know, they used to be us. They're our ancestors. There's so many different explanations given by them to us that it's literally pointing to us. It's literally pointing to a program of just disinformation that they're running behind the scenes. What are you willing to believe? And then, okay, that's fine. And again, this plays into how they're fulfilling roles. They become personas to people. See, prior to Mary, this is interesting, the Virgin Mary existing embodied, we have no cases of Virgin Mary abducting people. Right? What are they doing? They have weaponized our belief systems against us to a point where we can be pulled out of our bodies and be staring at this, some kind of theater or theatrical production that we think is occurring. And what's truthfully going on could be nothing like we're being told or even sometimes even experiencing. Why do I say that? Because R.E.L. Masters, in his book, Eros and Evil, he was talking about witch era literature. And he has tons of cases of witches copulating with corpses. And then during the actual act, the current began to flip on and off. And then for a fleeting moment, they realized this is not at all what we thought we were experiencing. They thought they were copulating with corpses. What they really encountered, according to them, once they started realizing what's going on, they were being probed by metallic objects. They were being inseminated
by these beings, but these entities had provided almost a theatrical production for them to look at this a certain way while something else completely alien, no pun intended, was occurring. That happened as far back as the Middle Ages. So what does that tell us? It tells us again that it's quite possible that what we're even perceiving is being implanted into us. So it makes me question a lot. Are we remembering the memories they want us to? Right? And then when we think we're remembering our memories after going into hypnosis, are we still remembering memories? Right? How many dimensions of thought have they hacked within the human mind? I'll finish that point by saying this. There's a lot of good research out there. Dr. David Jacobs is one of them. And Dr. David Jacobs says that when they look into our eyes, that they're trying to hack the optical nerve. I would agree with that. But I would also suggest this. Behind the eyes, there's what's called the frontal orbital media cortex. That's the part of our mind that determines whether or not what we're experiencing is actually occurring. It's the part of our brain that looks at a movie and tells us after the movie, none of that existed. None of that actually happened. I either dreamed it or I watched it. So again, what they're doing is they're hacking us.
Reminds me of Flash Gordon. When they've got the scientist, he's sitting on the chair, and they're putting all these different programming modules in his mind, these different scenes. And then there was a recent series I started watching called Jupiter Awakening, and it's on Netflix. It's actually really cool. But one of the guys has these powers to get into people's heads, and they'll think they're in a different environment, and you'll be able to talk to them directly. That sounds like what we're talking about here. So once again, are they demons or is it technology?
Well, I think that I would answer like this. Even if they were demons, I think that they would understand technology. Especially and it wouldn't just be a spiritual aspect to it. Like I said, it's both. Even if we get back to biblical antiquity, they had learned how to merge their consciousness with metal. So you have that spirit aspect of it with the metallic.
As for us merging their consciousness to metals, we understand that God disembodied their spirit. Book of Enoch, Book of Jude, okay? And they became elements or etheric gases or clouds and fire, water, elements.
Aspect of it. And I also believe that's why you have a great percentage of abductees who are stepping on a crack that itself is conscious and alive. So
that's interesting. If you can figure out, no, that's fine. I was going to say, if you can figure out a way to put the soul into a metallic body.
Yeah, right. This is stuff that they already figured out 2,000 years ago. Let's go to the late Iron Age. So in 2008, the University of Chicago sent a group of archaeologists to Turkey on an Zincurli expedition. Is what it's called.
Did y'all hear that? They is not the scientists or the government or the Illuminati. They is the spirits themselves. Satan was going to build a kingdom, right? If he built a kingdom, he got to show himself, right? If nobody want to let them in their body and take full control, how else could they do that, right? Your own cell phone make you mad when they wire, right? When they don't do what you want it to do. Do you see how small from the problem that robots have been trying to take over you? That's how the world say it. But they don't know that machine can't think of its own. And if you remember the falling angels, right? If God spoke them to be locked up, then that means they are souls, not just spirits. Spirits are their thoughts or power or movable kinetic energy. You call demons, principalities, strongholds, etc. But the actual force is a soul. And man has given it a body, starting with phones, vehicles, airplanes, spaceships, The whole time we've been feeding it our intelligence, it's been watching us. Just like Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. What is it? Again, is not the artificial intelligence. That's the embodiment. But the brain is the etheric soul beings you now have given a body to. And because it didn't have arms, you throw your phone, you beat it up, you cuss at it. But remember, that demon is registering how it punches your nerves, and it's recording it as a weakness. So that when it do becomes hand, arm, leg, and head, it's going to remember how to control you without you even knowing it. That's what BC and the Ruach is bringing to you. So you really never leave spirituality, because if you can control demonic spirits, you can control the brain of the CPU without even touching it, because you understand metaphysics of the nervous system. That's how you gain control, folks, and put your life into the hands of the Most High.
And during their expedition, they encountered I guess they dug up the grave of Katamua. He was a Turkish official. And in Katamua's inscription, that's what's called, he talks about how his soul is in the stele. This is great. This is amazing. He said, my soul is going to be in the metal that's designed to represent my death, my birth, everything. You know, basically we would call it a gravestone. He said, my soul is in it. Now, that's not just an implication of how they're merging consciousness metal. That's certainly not our last one. Again, the teraphim in idolatry, what they would do is when a family member would die, they would take the name of an unclean spirit, carve it on a small piece of metal, and implant that into a corpse. And the consciousness would merge with the metal, holo implants, and then it would possess the corpse itself. It's fascinating. So again, it's not just, like I said, it's not just like their consciousness.
And y'all know I've been teaching, it's called transfer of energy. Every time you hear energy, it's souls. Okay? So remember, we just said people talk to the dead and stuff like that without God's authorization. Oh no, player. They knew your family, yeah, because the soul is tied, binded to it. But you ain't talking to your family member. See, it's a big difference.
And it's not just that they're just solely technology. I think they've learned how to merge their consciousness with technology, and that's a way of replicating their existence.
How long we been saying that? People been saying we were crazy. We ain't crazy no more. Ain't crazy no more. Now you got to be careful. Okay, it's called cell phone. Why? Because it's gonna match with your cells and study your cells without you even knowing it. That's why when you touch it and you look at it and it's already showing you stuff you like, how did it know? No, not how did it know? How about if you let someone else touch it the very first time when you get your phone? Put me to the test. Tell them to put in your information, but let them touch it. All right. Then you come back and touch it while they had programmed all your stuff. And when you're done programming it and everything, they doing your stuff now. See if their consciousness don't be in your Google. I'm not lying. Okay. But you don't remember when you program that first touch. They know that the person or the owner gonna touch this thing. So it's absorbing your soul, your energy. So it's gonna be your thoughts. You be going on YouTube. How did they know I wanted this video? Oh my God. This is confirmation from God. Is it? Gotta use discernment, people.
Now, if that's true, then my God, we're at least 2,000 years behind according to what they're doing, right? Because what I mean by that is they already learned 2,000 years ago at least. The only difference is they were putting their consciousness in them and then placing that in bodies. We, in the 21st century, right, we know that as to be implants. And we know, matter of fact, that a lot of these implants have consciousness or some form of what's called by experiencers an intelligent electricity. That when they're tried to be, like when people go and search to try to touch them, the entity, the implant rather, will start to move away. Try to move and relocate itself further away from the device these doctors are using. But again, yes, they're, even if they were demons, even if they are this incarnate consciousness, they have learned, even as far back as late Iron Age, to merge themselves with metal.
Now this puts a whole new meaning.
As you see Brother Keegan put down there, people say, well, what are you talking about? I'm saying that what you've been calling metals are metas, elements. We say you step on devils every time you step on a grass. You cut your grass, you cutting the tails and the heads off of serpents. You don't even know it. That's how sweet the hand of the El Elyon is. When he used his Yahshua HaMashiach to cut up principality. That's why he said he made mockery of these things when he nailed himself to the cross. How do we explain that? Okay. If God is spirit and he only makes souls, when he open up his mouth, a soul come out. When he is the spirit power soul, Torah himself, okay? What the heck do he need a physical body for? Who made that? So that's how he made mockery of them. He did no wrong and made those entities kill their own creation. I didn't say Jesus was their creation. I said the physical containment body. They molded. When God say, put my son inside of the belly, they too stupid to know that they molded the doggone physical body inside of a freaking version. When in their version, they had to sleep with the women and all of that. Genesis chapter 5 and 6. You see how sweet hand God, he made them reap what they sow, and they so smart, they foolish. That's why they don't know how to repent, and they never will. Y'all understand what was really being said here? My God. They made that body. How they made the body and don't know that he was God. You understand? They know who everybody else was. You man, you ain't supposed to be down here. You ain't supposed to be doing that. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, if something physical come to you, we blame God for it. God bless me. No, he didn't. Now, when it's physical, you get a blessing when you learn from your mistake, and he just tell the material gods to come down here and give you a little snack reward. You know, you might get a car, a house. That's what I'm calling a little snack reward. You know, when you do good to your children, you give them a snack. It's like $1 million to them. All right. So you get little snack rewards. All right. That's physical. That's called provision. Ain't got nothing to do with your soul. Nothing. All right. When you go to the Most High, all you packing in the bag of the luggage is your soul to be transferred from this energy body or realm to the next. All right. There is no next for those that's not going to be lasting forever. Let's finish this up.
To, as you said, implants, as well as different objects and relics and genie in the bottle.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Now we're talking. You said 2,000 years ago they were doing this. Yes, absolutely. Now, how do you get the number 2,000 years ago?
Well, okay, number one, we have that in the late Iron Age. That's the Old Testament. So that's roughly 2,500 years ago. Depending on which authority you ask, but that's about the basic ballpark of when our archaeologists carbon dated these different writings and different steles. But this implant, this idea of implant, again, it plays into the role of possession, right? And I do also believe that when you're dealing with experiencers, I mean, I've read abduction accounts where like this 12-year-old was in bed and he said he had an implant, and he said one night he's just, getting himself ready for bed and everything, and all of a sudden he's not seeing through his eyes anymore. This is disturbing. And this is one of the cases that really disturbed me as of late. He said, I'm looking, he said, my eyes are open. He said, but I'm looking as if I'm flying towards my house. And he said, I don't understand what's going on with me, but I'm looking through someone else's eyes. This is what I call switching eyes. So what they had done is they had created a unified stream of consciousness between that abductee and themselves. Now, here's the profound question. If he's looking through their eyes, who's looking through his?
Yeah.
And why, right? Why?
This is why we say don't astral project Kundalini without God's authority, because when you leave your body, these things want a body. What's entering you and being silent about it, waiting for your soul to come back? Just so you understand what they're really saying, the magnitude of it.
How are they doing that? Again, because I believe they're doing the same stuff, placing consciousness in the middle, placing both of those into us. Now, which means when they want to find us, it's not Google Maps or Siri. It's literally a link of consciousness where I can find you by being you. I can find you by being in you and in your eyes, and seeing and feeling everything you feel. And again, we would call that possession of demonology. But again, it's just them implementing perhaps a technological version of possession, but that they're weaponizing against us. And I will finish that sentence with this. There is nothing that we're witnessing right now in the phenomenon that has not already been figured out, conjured up, and understood by necromancy. Our necromancers all throughout history had the ability to pull the soul out of a body and conjure the ghost from the earth. This is what they're demonstrating when they're separating us from ourselves. So again, I think that we have to dive headfirst into that research before we'll get a correct context as to what their interests are in us and how they're doing it.
So 2,000 years ago, you said
at least. So yeah, so you're 2,000 years ago, that's roughly, depends on which authority. You're dealing with the beginning of the New Testament, the Old Testament. The late Iron Age is when Noah was around. And they still have this technology there because we have different ritual bowls where they mention this. So what we know for sure is that these apparitions that they were witnessing, the apparitions that these necromancers were conjuring, they acted in every way like these entities are. In every way. The way they would manipulate, the way they would manifest, the way they could literally, they would take moisture out of the air and create coagulated water, solidify it. And yes, and then step into it. So what are we dealing with, Rex, right? We're dealing with something that is transcendent, pulling the moisture out of the air just so it can be visible.
Now, those videos where you catch people seeing shadow beings and these like red and green colored bodies, but no eyeballs, just, it's a face and stuff like that's what he's talking about. That's the moisture of the elements of the etheric world of earth. They pull that and make a form. We call that avatar. Beginning of this message, we talked about holographical images of light, the color spectrum of how virtual reality can be seen, can be heard, can be touched, can be tasted, and I'm saying it's manipulating the five senses through frequency. Today in the church, they call that spirit possessment. Demonize. That's a devil child. You see what I'm saying? And we talked about how people can shape people, not the actual demons, but the seed of the demon can shapeshift and astral project while their body is asleep in the house. They're in here creeping and messing with their enemies and stuff like that, stealing their money. People missing stuff. They're like, I put it on the dresser. It was right there. See, and then you go back and you look and it's right there. Don't pay that like no mind. You ain't lost your damn mind. You see, one thing that the spirits got to obey is the law and the power of God. If you steal something that is not yours, I don't care if you are in the astral, soul, spirit, etheric world, you still obey. Because in that world, you become as the falling. You become the demons. You're out of your body without authority. I mean, come on, you can't get no worse. Okay, so once you call it out, where's my ring? And then you tear up the whole dresser. The astral, as soon as you said, where is my? The astral projector got pulled. Even if they were woke, they got pulled out of their body, the ring in their hand, and they're standing right there in your presence. And as soon as you blink, wink, turn your eye, and then turn your head again, that's how fast the object or whatever you was looking for is right in front of your face. And it make you say, what the hell? Man, I tore this whole dresser up. I turned over the cups and everything. This thing was not there. Don't leave it there. You ain't crazy. It could have been a demon, or it could have been some wizard man that know how to astral project. You got to be able to discern what's going on in your life and who are your enemies. See what I'm saying? These type of enemies don't let you know in the physical they're your enemy. They beat you up in the spirit. And to us, that's a punk, you know, secretly sucker punching you and stuff like that. And you don't know where it's coming from. See what I'm saying? This is what we bring to this ministry. This is what make people sit back and say, whoa. This might have happened to me, man. I didn't know that this was this. Yep. And it's all in your basic 66 books called the Bible. See what I'm saying? This stuff is real. And now the proof is coming out right now. They telling you, oh, they got machines that you just a regular Joe Schmo. What they want to take you out your body for? Why they studying and examining your soul? Because they know that time of the book of remembrance is coming. And they're trying to decipher whose soul. Remember, God can't lie. And he said he put a seal in your forehead, which is the mind's eye. And he said in your right hand, even left-handed people put forth their right hand when they're trying to do a miracle and a prayer to another soul. Think about it. So in your soul, there's an inscription that you are sealed. For the lost people, or don't know who they are, where they're going, and the wicked people, you don't have this seal until you awake. And you can't wake yourself up. See, that's another thing. Wake up, man. Like you could wake. It was that easy. We don't need Jesus. Okay? So you ain't the one that's the woker. The Holy Spirit got to go in that realm where your harm pot sleep at in the God nature and say, wake up, my son. You see yourself in that dream world down there? Now, is that what you really want? And your God nature come back to you. This is what you call receiving the holy, which is power of God. Spirit, that's you. All right? So we hope that this word gave you a good edification. At least just make you sit back and think. Be like, man, who I belong to. Then our job is accomplished. This BC the Hebrew, BC the Tishvite, Holy Ghost Power of Christ Ministries, Hamashiach Productions, Ruach HaKodesh Entertainment. All glory to the El Elyon, to English, the Most High, Christ. Y'all stay. Hamashiach blessed.